after about 2 years or more of being attachment and trauma informed, I can't even count the number of lovely, lovely courses, educational hours, educational certificates that I've been able to enjoy, and I'm continuing to enjoy because of supporting people to be their self, that lovely inner growth mindset, your personal development journey, and also as a 5D mystic to be able and share what the actual Christ consciousness, oneness consciousness is. I hear a lot of the mystics out there with stories because they don't actually look to their humanity. In fact, they think of divinity, source, universe, as the basic entity that was referred to as God way back when, and that we obviously know there are specific groups of people that still refer and use that. That's their belief system. So the difference here is that a 4D mystic, that's what I call those who stay within their usage of what is not an integrated brain approach, is how I'm going to put it. I see the low self-esteem, indirect communicators, passive aggressive, they all have an inner child which is being led by their fight, their 14, 15, 16-year-old, their teenage version, which is not even Elsa on her journey, because Elsa goes on a journey which she ends up figuring out what she's been looking for. The individuals that I'm talking about, they have not only completely in the book of a person who experiences, perceives, and understands mysticism. So I have integration of the brain. I know of academics who look into what they call the hard problem. I laugh about problem because it's not a problem. The problem of consciousness. I also laughed when I was doing research for the Inner Growth Mindset book and found that they call the human condition a dilemma. And I'm like, why would it be a dilemma? There's no dilemma here. That's because I have, thanks mom, integration in the brain. I have a differentiated self. I know how to use my chit chatter. And when emotions come up from the right mode, I don't be like, oh my God, I'm feeling emotions. I need to die in a cave right now. Thank you, mother, because I was told it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I repeat it over and over and over. My mother's very good with repeating herself, like any other person who knows how to deal with children, because we will forget things as, well, I'm not a child anymore, but we all actually have a way that we are patterns. Okay, so the difference is I was made, thank you, mom, emotionally aware of myself, and it was okay to be a kid. And what I see is a lot of teenagers, in fact, they remind me of the same teenagers I met who thought of romantic love as those horrible, horrible adventure and, a lot of other things, which is lust, which is not an actual energy of love. It's a very different energy. And I, humanly speaking, thank you to the attachment trauma informed courses, know a lot of people have codependent type relationships. Now, they won't call it that. And like Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing, and good therapists will say there's also ways that people who are in codependent type relationships make their relationships actually seem like it's something that is, again, it's a distorted way of being as a person. So let me break this down, because see, I know a lot of people use belief systems. And the belief systems, they are casting stones. They are judging books by their cover. So people use the word and name Jesus, and yet they forget that he walked with all the people. See, I uphold Jesus's words of forgiving, for they do not know, turn the other cheek. And anything that is used by anyone who's trying to divide humanity is not in a space of love. And I have the coherence of a human being intellectual brain. And I don't need to prove everything. That's why I'm a woo-woo-pseudoscience lady. I'm also aware of being a mystic, which is not something special. As I was saying, hard problem of consciousness. So I'm just not a neuroscientist or physicist, but I've learned enough about the brain to know about how it works. So I'm going to get into our topic because, moving into our lovely Solo-Polyamory, I got to find out that I've always been on this journey since I was a teenager, because loving more than one person, definitely. Love is a constant. That's the number one thing I found out the adults had lied about once my teenager relationship, my first important relationship, finished. I was like, wow, okay. They said that you would never love again like you did before. Not true. I have better actually interactions, better dates, better lovers, better everything. And literally I made a joke with one of my friends about this one. It was a joke about the first time. And I said, well, because they were talking about, how can I put it, an event, a situation where they have 2 anniversaries to celebrate. But the first one was a flop. And I'm going to try and keep it obviously PG-13, even though this is all for adults. I made sure to, mark everything as an adult, but still, long story short, as my friend walks in where he's an entrepreneur, I say, though, the first time's not always the best, right? You remember that. And I'm joking with him, and he knows what I'm talking about. So again, passion is not teenagers. Yeah, lust has nothing to do with passion. And when you hear a spirituality guru like Sadhguru, when he talks about feeling all gooey ooey, no, he talks about it as wine, I think, or something like that. So I can share it, humanly speaking. It's our restorative embodied self. Thank you, attachment, trauma, information, people, integration of the brain, Daniel Siegel. Being a optimized version of you, anyone can get here, especially a secure attachment person. Those who have attachment, not security, that's a different story. Those who have abuse, neglect, and therefore childhood developmental trauma. But we see a lot of individuals out there, they are not using attachment trauma information to actually go inside. So the 4D mystics, by the way, they created a whole saga out of the oversoul journey. That's where they're going to keep on doing that, because they don't actually get to say, I'm beautiful just the way I am with my name. They actually don't like being human. Lo and behold, I'm an energy whatever. No, they actually talk about their own oversoul people as energy vampires versus getting attachment trauma informed. So, passion, the frequency, reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. That is only possible to stay calm inside. So again, unflappable, remember we talked about that. Let me see if I still have it open. But unflappable is when you are not easily upset or confused, especially in a crisis. You're imperturbable. So my teenage boyfriend story, every listener knows about it on the episodes that are audio. I like to do that. Okay, I never did any of what are trauma safety behaviors because I don't have insecurity. I have healthy self-worth. I know how to love myself first. So I didn't shame, I didn't blame, and I did not fault, and I did not in any way, shape, or form do anything remotely close to revenge, envy, jealousy, all emotions that are part of an insecure human being who can get out of that insecurity if they want establishing integration in the brain. Not doing, I don't want to do personal development, I want life now. Literally not understanding how your embodied brain works. Not only this, some people, they know about trauma and the importance, EMDR, child parts work, and somatics, and then they will whine about doing what is not even emotional lifting at that point. It's literally, you can become a grown-up version of yourself or stay the fight 14, 15, 16-year-old teenager of you. So the 4D mystics think they're a higher self because they have clairs. They don't know that a higher self is when you're a grown-up, so you can stay calm and collected and you are unflappable. Because that's what it means to actually embody a restorative embodied self, but this consciousness. So when you're in structural dissociation, when you are living the past, your child parts, it's because your 0-1-year-old attached panicky is not in your possession. Your 3 to 7 shame submissive, not. Freeze, not. Flight 11, 12, not. Fight 14, 15, 16, not. Anytime somebody's whining to me as a grown-up, I won't be like, you're whining, because they are actually really, really upset. Somebody broke up with me. I lost everything. All the people that grew up, I've heard them say, it's getting harder to love. It's getting harder to, it's gotten easier for me. It's gotten way easier, because why would it be harder to be a lover if you have love here, which is what you find out, thanks Stephen Porges. And he didn't write his book with his wife because the publishers said, no, people want to buy the drama shit. Yeah, drama shit, that's right. I'm going to say it. It's shit. But if they don't get to love, they think lust is the best thing, and they think passion is something that is in a survival mode. Yeah, the part about secure attachment, it's not boring. The people who use that word, they're really doing a disservice to any person who doesn't know secure attachment. It's very fun to be consistent, contingent communicator. We are direct communicators like Pacha. We don't lie. We tell the truth. So moving into Solo-Polyamory, for example, it's not you move into it. You either embody it or you get to, well, we'll talk more about it in the longer episode, but it's a very beautiful, loving journey. That's the point. We love more, not less, because we don't lose ourselves in anything or anyone. We share life together with joy, and that's what it is.